Imagine waking up every single morning and the first thing you see is a thick gray fog over the faces of the people you love. You try to rub your eyes thinking it is just sleepiness, but the blurriness remains. Many people assume that this fading vision is just an unavoidable part of getting older, like gray hair or a few more wrinkles. You might find yourself squinting at the menu in a dimly lit restaurant, or feeling a surge of anxiety when the sun goes down because the headlights of oncoming cars look like exploding stars. But what if I told you that this is not just old age? The truth is that your eyes are far more fragile than you realize, especially once you pass the age of 60. The American Optometric Association notes that conditions like dry eyes and cataracts become much more aggressive in our later years. But the real danger is something most doctors rarely mention. A massive amount of vision damage happens while you are fast asleep. While you are resting, your retina often struggles to get the oxygen it needs to survive. The light-sensitive cells that allow you to see the world in high definition begin to break down in the dark. This hidden process is a leading cause of blurred vision, and many people do not notice the decline until the damage is nearly permanent. Today we are going to explore why your vision is actually getting blurry and look at a natural way to support your eye health without relying solely on expensive medications or risky surgeries. Before we dive into these life-changing secrets, make sure to subscribe to Seniors Healthy Living so you never miss a guide on staying vibrant and independent. The hard truth that the vision care industry does not want you to focus on is that most common solutions like stronger glasses or basic eye drops only treat the symptoms. They do not fix the root cause. This is why the global eye care market continues to grow into a multi-billion-dollar industry while millions of seniors still struggle with vision loss every day. A landmark study published in the Journal of Ophthalmology in 2023 titled Why Eye Health Declines After 60 revealed that age-related retinal damage often starts with silent changes like oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. These changes are most active at night when your eyes are supposed to be repairing themselves. If your body does not have the right nutrients available during those sleeping hours, the repair process fails. However, recent research has uncovered that specific everyday fruits contain powerful compounds that your eyes crave during sleep. These nutrients can actually help regenerate damaged cells and improve the flow of blood to the retina. In some cases, they can even slow the progression of macular degeneration, which is the primary cause of central vision loss in older adults. One of the most incredible things we have discovered is that the number one fruit on our list contains a rare compound that can delay cataract formation by up to 40%. Think about a man named Robert who is 68 years old. Robert used to love woodworking, but he had to give it up because he could no longer see the fine lines on his measuring tape. He felt like his world was shrinking. He tried every expensive drop on the market, but nothing changed until he understood the power of nighttime nutrition. This is not just about eating more fruit. It is about eating the right fruit at the right time to trigger a biological restoration. Before we get into our countdown, please share in the comments what specific vision problems you are dealing with right now. I read every single message, and I want to provide the best information possible. Remember that while this information is based on the latest science, it should never replace the advice of your personal doctor. If you are noticing sudden changes in your sight, please consult a licensed professional immediately. Let us begin our countdown with number 7. It is a small and fuzzy fruit that you probably see in the produce aisle every week without a second thought. It is the kiwi. Most people think of it as just a tart snack, but for your eyes, it is a powerhouse of restoration. As we age, the retina becomes increasingly fragile. Think of the retina as the film in an old-fashioned camera. If the film is damaged, the picture will always be blurry no matter how good the lens is. When oxidative stress builds up in the eye, you start to notice those starbursts around lights and a general fuzziness in the morning. This is not just aging. It is cellular exhaustion. The kiwi is loaded with two specific nutrients called lutein and zeaxanthin. You can think of these as natural internal sunglasses. They live within your eyes and filter out harmful blue light while protecting your vision while you sleep. On top of that, kiwis contain serotonin, which helps you achieve a deeper sleep where the most intense eye repair occurs. Researchers writing in the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging found that seniors who consumed 2 golden kiwis daily saw a measurable increase in vision sharpness. They also reported far less dryness and redness upon waking up. If you want to try this for yourself, the method is very simple. You should eat 2 golden kiwis about 1 hour before you go to bed. Why golden kiwis? They typically have higher levels of lutein and much less acid than the green variety, which makes them easier on your stomach late at night. There is also a secret trick that many people miss. Do not peel the fruit entirely. The very thin layer right under the skin is where a powerful antioxidant called caffeic acid is most concentrated. Use a spoon to scoop the fruit out, but try to leave that outer edge intact. By making this one small change to your nightly routine, you are giving your eyes the raw materials they need to fight back against the blurriness of age. Imagine being like Robert and finally seeing those fine lines clearly again. That is the goal of natural vision support. Moving to number 6 on our list, we find a fruit that defines the American summer, but is often ignored as a medical tool. We are talking about watermelon. Most people think of watermelon as just sugar and water, but for a senior citizen, it is a vital source of hydration for the optic nerve. One of the most common reasons people wake up with blurry vision is that their eyes have literally dried out overnight. As we age, our blood circulation can slow down and our eyes can become stiff and less flexible. Because watermelon is over 90% water, it provides a deep level of hydration that simple tap water cannot match because of how the nutrients are structured. But the real magic lies in a compound called lycopene. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant that has been linked to a significant reduction in oxidative damage to the cells of the retina. This is the same compound that gives tomatoes their red color, but it is even more bioavailable in watermelon. Observational data has shown that people who regularly consume watermelon tend to have much higher circulating levels of those protective pigments we mentioned earlier. But there is more. Recent studies on wild watermelon extract have shown that it can boost nitric oxide levels in the body. If you are not familiar with nitric oxide, think of it as the signal that tells your blood vessels to open up and relax. When your blood vessels are relaxed, more oxygen and more nutrients can reach the tiny capillaries in your eyes. Better circulation means better repair while you are dreaming. For someone like Sarah, who is 72 and struggled with high eye pressure, finding a natural way to support blood flow was a game changer. However, there is a very important rule to follow when using watermelon for eye health. You should enjoy 1 to 2 cups of chilled seedless watermelon about 30 minutes before bed, but you must never add salt. Many people love salt on their melon, but salt can raise your internal eye pressure. The Glaucoma Research Foundation warns that high eye pressure is a major risk factor for irreversible vision loss. Another pro tip for your watermelon is to look at the rind. That white part of the fruit near the skin is often thrown away, but it contains the highest concentration of citrulline. Citrulline is the precursor to that nitric oxide we talked about, which supports healthy blood vessel function. You do not have to eat the hard green skin, but try to include as much of the white flesh as possible in your evening snack. By doing this, you are essentially giving your eyes a fresh drink of oxygenated blood, just as they begin their nightly maintenance cycle. Now let us look at number 5, which is a fruit that is almost entirely overlooked in the standard American diet. These are black currants. They are tiny, deep purple berries that might not look like much, but they are incredibly powerful for the eyes. The specific problem that black currants solve is retinal microinflammation. Over the years, inflammation can cause the vision to blur and create those annoying halos around streetlights at night. This is a type of eye strain that glasses cannot fix because the problem is internal. Black currants are rich in a specific group of antioxidants called anthocyanins. These pigments do something extraordinary. They help the eyes adjust to darkness by supporting the restoration of rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is the visual pigment that allows your eyes to transition from a bright room to a dark one. If you have ever walked into a movie theater and felt completely blind for several minutes, it is a sign that your rhodopsin levels might be low. The science behind this is very robust. In a randomized study involving patients with glaucoma, those who took blackcurrant anthocyanins daily for 24 months showed significantly improved blood flow to the optic nerve. More importantly, the worsening of their visual field loss was slowed down compared to those who took nothing. This suggests that these tiny berries have a neuroprotective effect, meaning they help keep the nerves in your eyes alive and healthy. If you cannot find fresh blackcurrants at your local grocery store, you can look for a high-quality blackcurrant extract. About 50 milligrams taken in the evening can make a world of difference. To get the most out of these berries, you should pair them with a small amount of healthy fat, such as a few walnuts or a little bit of yogurt. This is because many of these pigments are better absorbed when there is a bit of fat present in the digestive system. This kind of nutrient synergy is what separates a basic diet from a strategic vision restoration plan. For seniors who want to maintain their night driving privileges, keeping the optic nerve well nourished with anthocyanins is one of the smartest moves they can make. At number 4, we have a fruit that almost everyone has in their refrigerator right now, but almost everyone is eating it the wrong way. We are talking about blueberries. Blueberries are often called a superfood, but if you do not understand the science of how to eat them, you are essentially throwing your money away. The primary issue that blueberries address is the breakdown of photoreceptors. These are the tiny cells in your retina that allow you to focus on fine details and see the world in vivid color. After decades of exposure to ultraviolet light from the sun and blue light from digital screens, these cells begin to wear thin. You might find yourself asking why your vision is still blurry, even though you just got a new prescription for your glasses. The answer is often that the cells themselves are struggling to function. Inside the blueberry is a miracle compound called pterostilbene. It is very similar to the resveratrol found in red wine, but it is much easier for the human body to absorb. More importantly, it can cross the blood-retinal barrier. This is a protective fence that the body builds around the eyes to keep toxins out, but it also keeps many nutrients out as well. Pterostilbene is one of the few things that can get through that fence to repair DNA damage in your light-sensitive cells. A study from 2023, published in Nutritional Neuroscience, showed that older adults who ate wild blueberries every day for 12 weeks had a 32% improvement in their visual acuity. They could see smaller details more clearly, and they reported much less squinting when looking at their phones or tablets at night. But here is the catch. Most of the blueberries sold in large plastic tubs at the supermarket are cultivated berries. They are big and sweet, but they have much lower antioxidant power. If you want to fix your vision, you need to look for wild blueberries. These are smaller and darker, and they contain nearly double the nutrients of the regular kind. You should aim for about a third of a cup of wild blueberries roughly 45 minutes before you go to sleep. And here is the most important rule. Do not mix them with dairy. There are proteins in cow milk that bind to the anthocyanins in the berries and prevent your body from absorbing them. If you put your blueberries in a big bowl of ice cream or milk, you are canceling out the benefits. Instead, try freezing them and then letting them thaw slightly before eating. This process actually breaks down the cell walls of the fruit and makes the antioxidants more bioavailable. Your eyes can then use those nutrients while you are in deep sleep to patch up the damage from the day. Next at number 3 is a fruit that always surprises people because it looks so exotic. It is the dragon fruit, specifically the variety with the deep red flesh. If you have ever felt like your eyes are exhausted even after a full night of sleep, you might be suffering from something called retinal hypoxia. This is just a medical term for a lack of oxygen in the eye tissues. When your eyes do not get enough oxygen, the peripheral vision starts to get fuzzy, and you might experience a heavy sensation in your eyelids. Dragon fruit is rich in betaines, which are rare antioxidants that boost the production of nitric oxide. As we discussed earlier, nitric oxide widens the tiny capillaries in your eyes. More open vessels mean more oxygen and more repair. In 2022, a study in the journal Frontiers in Aging Biology found that people who consumed red dragon fruit extract for 6 weeks saw a 26% increase in the oxygen levels within their eyes. They also showed major improvements in contrast sensitivity. This means they could see the difference between shades of gray much better, which is vital for safe driving at dusk or in rainy weather. To use this effectively, you should eat half of a red flesh dragon fruit about an hour before bed. Make sure it is the red kind and not the white kind, as the white variety does not have the same concentration of betaines. Also, do not swallow the tiny black seeds whole. You should chew them because they contain omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium, which are both critical for repairing the nerves in your retina. Most people just gulp them down and lose the most important part. By adding dragon fruit to your nighttime routine, you are essentially giving your eyes an oxygen mask that helps them recover while you rest. Coming in at number 2 is a fruit that has been a staple of traditional medicine for over 2,000 years. Modern science is finally catching up to what the ancients knew about goji berries. These bright red dried berries are famous in Asia for fighting off the effects of aging on the eyes. The specific problem they target is macular thinning. The macula is the very center of your retina, and it is responsible for your sharpest vision. It is what allows you to recognize the faces of your grandchildren and read the fine print on a medicine bottle. As we get older, the macula can begin to thin out due to poor circulation and oxidative stress. This is the beginning of macular degeneration, which can be devastating for a person's independence. Goji berries are perhaps the richest natural source of zeaxanthin on the planet. If lutein is the shield for the outer part of your eye, zeaxanthin is the shield for the very center. In 2021, a study published in the journal Nutrients followed a group of adults between the ages of 60 and 80. They ate 5 tablespoons of dried goji berries 5 days a week for 90 days. The results were staggering. Every single participant showed an increase in the density of their macular pigment. Not one person in the study saw their macular degeneration get worse during that time. For anyone worried about losing their sight to this disease, this is incredible news. The best way to consume goji berries for eye health is to soak about 2 tablespoons of the dried berries in warm water for 10 minutes before eating them. This rehydrates them and makes the nutrients much easier for your body to process. You should eat them about 30 minutes before bed. For an extra boost, you can pair them with a small square of dark chocolate that is at least 85% cacao. The flavonoids in the cocoa help your body absorb even more of the zeaxanthin. Imagine the confidence of knowing that you are actively building a shield over the most sensitive part of your vision every single night. Finally, we have reached number 1. The ultimate fruit for your eyes is the humble papaya. You might have one sitting on your kitchen counter right now, but you probably do not realize it is a biological weapon against cataracts. The hidden enemy that papaya fights is a process called glycation. This happens when excess sugar in your blood binds to the proteins in your eye tissues. It creates sticky compounds that turn the clear lens of your eye cloudy. This is how cataracts begin. Papaya is packed with an enzyme called papain, which helps break down these harmful protein clusters. It is also loaded with vitamins A and C and E as well as folate. This combination strengthens the tear film that protects the surface of your eye and helps stabilize your vision. A study from 2023 found that seniors who ate papaya at night had lower levels of glycation markers and significantly better contrast vision within just 6 weeks. If you deal with dry eyes or morning blurriness, papaya could be your greatest ally. To use it properly, you should eat 1 cup of ripe papaya cubes about an hour before bed. It is very important that the papaya is at room temperature. Do not eat it cold from the fridge because the cold suppresses the activity of the papain enzymes. Also, do not pair it with any dairy products. For a pro-tip drizzle, a little bit of fresh lime juice over the papaya. The vitamin C in the lime increases your body's ability to absorb the vitamin A in the papaya. This simple bedtime snack can help you wake up with eyes that feel refreshed and clear rather than gritty and tired. Now that you know the 7 best fruits for your eyes, we must talk about the 5 golden rules of how to eat them. If you ignore these rules, you could be wasting 70% of the nutrients. Rule number 1 is to avoid mixing these fruits with high calcium foods. As we mentioned with blueberries, calcium can block the absorption of the very pigments your eyes need to stay healthy. If you eat your eye-healing fruit right after a bowl of yogurt or a glass of milk, you are essentially putting a lock on your digestive system that prevents the lutein and zeaxanthin from getting into your bloodstream. Always wait at least 90 minutes after eating dairy before you have your nighttime fruit. Rule number 2 is to always pair your fruit with a small amount of healthy fat. Nutrients like vitamin A and lutein are fat-soluble. This means they need fat to act as a carrier to get them from your gut to your eyes. You do not need much. A few walnuts or a slice of avocado is plenty. Research has shown that this simple step can increase nutrient absorption by more than 50%. It is the difference between your eyes getting a tiny sip of nutrition or a full meal. Rule number 3 is about how you wash your fruit. You should be gentle. Many people scrub their berries under high-pressure water, but this actually washes away the delicate antioxidants that live in the skin. Just a gentle rinse in cool water right before you eat them is best. Never wash your fruit hours before eating because the moisture can cause the nutrients to start degrading. Rule number 4 is to stick to room temperature. This is especially true for papaya and kiwi. Your body has to work harder to process cold food, and many of the natural enzymes in fruit become inactive when they are chilled below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. By letting your fruit sit out on the counter for 30 minutes before you eat it, you are ensuring that your digestive system can extract every bit of goodness for your eyes. Rule number 5 is all about timing. You want to hit the sweet spot of 60 to 90 minutes before bed. If you eat too early, your body will process the nutrients while you are still awake and active. If you eat too late, the process of digestion might interfere with your deep sleep. When you time it correctly, the nutrients reach your eyes exactly when they are entering their natural nighttime repair cycle. As we wrap up today, I want you to think about what clear vision really means. It is not just about reading a book or a screen. It is about your independence. It is about being able to drive yourself to the store or see the expressions on your friends' faces during a conversation. Vision loss can be a lonely experience, but it does not have to be your story. By making these small, natural changes, you are taking control of your health. Imagine a future where you wake up and the world is sharp and vibrant. That is the power of nutrition. If you found this guide helpful, please give us a like and share this video with someone you care about who might be struggling with their sight. Together, we can support each other on this journey to healthy aging. Thank you for watching Seniors Healthy Living, and we will see you in the next video.